Hi there, I'm Vincent Bos, and I'm a life coach, relationship coach, and breakup coach. You can change the language of this podcast in the YouTube video settings. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing inside your ex's mind, monkey barring, digital expression, and throning. I provide audio coaching for breakup recovery, trying to get an ex back, attracting someone new, and life coaching. Visit www.dateme.tips for more details. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. Subscribe to my weekly support emails. The link is in the description. So now let's get back into today's podcast. And today we are discussing inside your ex's mind, monkey barring, digital expression, and throning. So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, you want to understand their mindset. In today's podcast, I'm discussing 3 explanations to behaviours that they have shown. So let's get straight into this, and point number 1 is monkey barring. Now let me know in the comments if you have heard of monkey barring. Let me know in the comments and let's see what the community thinks. So monkey barring might sound very similar to an expression that I'm sure you've heard the concept of before, which is monkey branching. But there is a difference between them, and therefore it's really important to understand due to what your ex-dumper may have been doing in their life pre-breakup and maybe even post-breakup. So inside your ex's mind, monkey barring shows a fear of being left without options. So if you believe that your ex-dumper is someone who in essence is scared of being alone, well, this is already a red flag that this might be part of their mindset. So unlike the older concept of monkey branching, where someone will swing straight from one partner to the next, monkey barring suggests that they're holding multiple bars, you could say, at once, keeping backups lined up while still with you, or theoretically with someone else now. Now, both concepts reveal insecurity, but monkey barring is about juggling several escape routes instead of just one. So you could suggest it is almost like an extreme version of monkey branching, but as I've suggested, there do seem to be some differences. The main one being that you may have been in a relationship with your now ex-dumper, not really realizing that they actually had all of these other options still in play. Now, if you are in a situation where you have a monkey brancher, there might not be anybody else in your ex-dumper's life until they find that person that they want to move from you to them. In essence, monkey branching, as I see it, is where your ex-dumper would have been always keeping their options open. They may have very well been in love with you, believing the relationship was almost perfect, but if they saw or spoke to or interacted with anyone that they then felt could be an opportunity to move up that ladder, move up that tree, well, they might swing from one branch to the other. It's almost as if they are never fully satisfied. They were with you, they might be in love with you, but they are always looking out for how they can move higher up that chain. That, as I see it, is a very important concept of monkey branching. Whereas monkey barring is that all of these options could still be in play and may have always been connected to your ex-dumper. Let's just use the example of online dating. Maybe you and your ex met online dating, and during the online dating process, you are likely speaking to multiple people. Now, it's important for me to say that I believe that is a really important thing to do. You may have even paid for your online dating experience. You shouldn't be committing to one person at a time until you feel there is a genuine connection building, probably after multiple dates with that person. Now, it's my belief that if you are going on a first date with someone online dating, there is no problem whatsoever with still speaking to other people on that platform. Because just because you are going on this date, it doesn't mean you're going to really find that connection to be strong enough to build something with. You don't want to just be speaking with one person at a time. That is my belief. When you are online dating, one is too close to none. If you focus all of your energy on one person, you eventually meet them, it doesn't work out as you hoped, you're down to zero. Okay, so I do believe that online dating, you should be speaking to multiple people. And until you've been on multiple dates with one person, I don't think you should even be considering becoming exclusive. However, when you do decide to become exclusive, that is when all of these other people in the background should fade away. Now, someone who is monkey barring might not let that happen. Someone who is monkey barring might instead transfer those people they are speaking to on the site to their phone contacts, okay? So they might leave the app, but they might be keeping those connections that they've been warming up on the platform and actually just speak to them via some type of messaging. So you might see it as you and your new partner have left this dating app, but you have not realized that they potentially have taken a number of contacts from there into their phone contact list on their phone, and they are still keeping them warm. And what that means is having conversations. Now, this other person or other people in the background, you might be thinking, well, why would they be happy just sitting around almost being like a new style pen friend, a new pen pal, a text buddy? You know, why don't they actually want that relationship? Because your expert dumper in this instance is not necessarily meeting them. They're just almost keeping them, as we've described, as in essence a backup. They're having all of these multiple options lined up, even though they are with you, so they can move from branch to branch if necessary. That is what we refer to as monkey barring. So if you and your new partner hit a roadblock at any stage, it might be early, it might be when you and your partner are not even described as new, it could be years down the line without you realizing that all of these options have still remained in your now ex's life. And when they need an escape route, they can easily find one. So that is what I would suggest monkey barring is, and the difference between that and monkey branching. And it is something that maybe now you're thinking to yourself, is my ex a monkey barrer? Is that what they have done? Is that what they are doing now? Have you been caught up in this in some way? Let me know in the comments. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast. Please give this video a like and let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you like my content, subscribe to the channel to keep updated. And point number 2 is digital expression. Now this is something that you may have heard of, but not really given this title. This is something of a newer title I've heard to describe this concept. And that is, but if you see your ex-dumper posting online frequently, maybe they never used to, and now they are. Or perhaps they were always somewhat active, but now there seems to be new purpose and new direction. This could be what we now refer to as digital expression. This is if your ex is flooding social media with what we would call healing posts, selfies or quotes, things which are suggesting they are moving on, things which are suggesting that they are really, really happy. That's digital expression. It's not random. It's a reflection of their feelings, craving that validation. They might be almost showing off how they are fine, how they are great, how brilliant their new life is. Or even perhaps sending you almost indirect signals without actually talking to you. All of this comes under the banner of digital expression. And the important thing to remember is that any type of social media usage is PR. It's public relations. It's what someone is trying to get across to the public. It's not necessarily the truth. Just because they are posting about how fine they are, it doesn't mean they really are. If anything, it might actually be the opposite. They are looking for that validation. They might be seeking communication from others because they are actually feeling really lonely. Now, we don't know for certain what your ex-dumper is actually going through, but the likelihood is they are feeling a level of turmoil that you probably are very surprised to hear of. Because yes, they made the decision to end your relationship, but they could never have imagined exactly how things would be post-breakup. Their life has been turned upside down by them, but they are still feeling it. And they will be releasing their feelings and emotions on social media, looking and seeking, whether it is validation from new people, whether it is reassurance about how great they are looking or how wonderful their life is. Just remember, dumpees, this isn't necessarily real. If you see a brilliant, attractive photo of your ex online, remember, they might have taken 30 photos before they found the one that they want to actually post. It doesn't necessarily mean things are exactly as they are. And if you believe your ex is sending you indirect signals, well, I do suggest some caution in trying to read into things which might not actually be there. But it's true, some dumpers will be almost trying to send some level of message to their ex per dumpee via social media. However, most of the time, if a dumper wants to reach out to a dumpee, they will do it directly. So would I suggest they could be sending you indirect messages? It's possible, but what I would also say is that unless they are reaching out to you directly, in my opinion, they are probably not quite ready to want to reconnect. Now, if you would like advice and support about how to try and increase the chance of one day getting your ex back, then you may want to consider my audio coaching service, where me and you can speak one-on-one about your unique specific situation. This is the best and diamond level of support that I can provide. Go to my website www.dateme.tips for more information about how I can become your coach and your teammate via my audio coaching service. Talking about your feelings can also improve your mental health. It helps prevent the buildup of negative emotions, which can lead to stress, anxiety, depression, and even physical health issues. Speak your heart to free your mind. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast. If you feel that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description. And point number 3 is throning. Now this is something which is again a newer concept that we're hearing about, but it's really important to understand because it is different to something it is, you might suggest, slightly similar to, and let's explain it now. So this is when your ex-dumper attaches themselves to someone mainly for money, looks, or lifestyle. Now that's the important thing. If I just stopped at money, you would have said, well, that's just a gold digger. And you would absolutely be right. But throning is not just about money. It could also be about looks or lifestyle to, in essence, an extreme degree, because obviously we need to be with someone because we are physically attracted amongst everything else. But if someone is really putting that lifestyle, the looks, the money, all into one bracket, that is throning. So if you believe that your ex-dumper was with you for that reason, and maybe now you have lost some of your money, your looks, your lifestyle, and then they've left you, well, perhaps there is the clue. Maybe that is the type of person they are, the type of behavior they are showcasing. So when your ex attaches themselves to someone mainly for the money, looks, or lifestyle, that is throning. And it shows their inner drive for status and external validation, not a genuine connection, not from the emotional standpoint. In their mind, it's about filling the emptiness in their life. Now, maybe that was before they met you, or maybe they are now living this throning lifestyle post-breakup. Maybe you were not caught up in this originally. Maybe they were not with you for that reason. But now you are noticing that behavior. Well, in that regard, it's because in their mind, they are filling the emptiness left by the breakup by putting someone else on a pedestal for everything they seem to be achieving. So it is a subtle difference. It's a subtle difference from being a gold digger. It's also a subtle difference from what we are all looking for. As I said, we want to find a physical, attractive person to us to be in a relationship with. Similarly, ambition is very attractive. There is nothing wrong with finding someone ambitious to be an attractive option. But what this is about is not really caring about the person, not really having that emotional connection in that way, but instead just looking about who they are. I mean, the classic example we could, of course, give here is a celebrity. Someone who is interested in a celebrity, whether a big celebrity, a minor celebrity, a local celebrity, doesn't have to be somebody necessarily on TV. Your ex-dumper might be interested in them due to who they are seen as rather than who they actually are. Maybe you were that person. Maybe you weren't, and your ex-dumper is now seeking that type of person. But if you see that in your ex or in anybody in your life, well, that is throning. And again, please let me know in the comments if this is something you have experienced.